Boys.
We are boys.
And we're boys.
What's up, guys? It's Liam
And Mikey.
from the band Kruiser, and we're starting a new series. It's called Boys React 2. That was perfect, dude. We're gonna be reacting to the new Guns N' Roses song called "The General." I've heard half of it. Mikey, have you heard it at all?
I haven't heard it at all.
When I was young, learning guitar and getting into hard and heavier music, Guns N' Roses for me were like the cream of the crop.
I said, wow, I'm going to pick up as much as I can from those two guys. And then I got older, and I stopped listening to them as much.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you were probably a bigger Guns N' Roses fan than I ever was.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still listen to them?
Yeah, every now and then. Appetite for a While was my favorite album of all time.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. You could make a case it's the greatest debut.
I would say so, yeah.
It's not my favorite, but it's a great one. And
it is.
do you think you would listen to them more if they had more music?
I would say so, yeah.
They've been probably releasing new songs periodically for like 2 years, I want to say. I believe it's stuff that was demoed, and they're coming out with it. So I guess let's go into it, and I guess we'll...
Wait, before we start, in honor of Guns N' Roses, I'm going to drink a little bit of Jack.
Yeah, in honor of Guns N' Roses.
Exactly.
So we're gonna...
That's the only reason why. It's definitely not.
We're gonna do a listen through, and we're gonna pause every now and then. It sounds not like classic Guns N' Roses.
No. It sounds like Chinese Democracy.
Which
I like.
I'm a fan of that album. I think that is one of the, if not the most overhated rock album. They sat on it for too long. I don't think the production is great on Chinese Democracy either. It sounds super, super pieced together. I guess because it was.
Some boomers or some Gen Xers that might listen to this expecting like Appetite or Use Your Illusion style Guns N' Roses, and they're not going to get that.
I don't like a lot of the legacy acts, newer stuff. I think there's exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
AC/DC is one of them.
AC/DC, I thought their newest album was good, but I like when people grow, and I think there's growth with Guns N' Roses, but it's a messy growth though. It's like I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'm ever going to listen to this song again.
If you're coming at it trying to listen to this expecting like Appetite style stuff, you're not going to be happy. But if you look at it just as a song on its own, I think it's a cool song.
I was going to ask you, what's your thoughts on his voice?
I don't think it's horrible. I just don't think it's that good. But I think the instrumental is pretty cool. I do like what's going on musically in the song. I think it's cool.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
Chuck, come on.
I got on my socks, brother.
Come on, put your socks on and come on down.
Yeah.
We're doing Boys React / Boys Thoughts. We're doing Boys Thoughts right now.
Yeah, we're doing Boys Thoughts.
Boys Thoughts, man.
My car is ready to get picked up tomorrow, or not today.
Have you seen any recent footage of Guns N' Roses live?
I haven't.
Cause I feel like when we saw them in 2016, he sounded pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't think he sounds good at all. Like he's like
more like Elmo.
He sounds like I hate to say this, but he's gone to Vince Neil levels of it's just. I wonder if he sings differently in the studio now because it doesn't
sound like it.
This sounds better than live though. And here I'll use some of my vocal instruction knowledge. Is that live he doesn't use his full voice at all. He will do it for low stuff, but he sounds horrible singing low, and anything that would usually be in his mix range is completely head voice falsetto. But when singers do that, there's no power behind it, so it just sounds like somebody like at a bar doing karaoke. And at a scale of 10, what would you give this song? I think it's cool. I don't think it's got memorable parts though, really.
It sounds like spy music.
Yeah, you can tell. I think it's pretty well documented how much he likes Nine Inch Nails. There was like a talking part that was giving me some like 90s like Fake No More kind of a vibe too, which I feel like I know they toured together, so I don't know how big of a fan I know
how they get along.
I was gonna say I know they're not fans of his from what I've seen. But
did anyone who ever toured with Axl ever get along with him?
No. Slash has a very strong and I don't really listen to it that much, but he has a very successful solo career, and they still put out albums.
Snake Pit or Miles Kennedy.
Miles Kennedy,
slash
yeah,
featuring
yeah.
Miles Kennedy and the
Yeah.
Conspirators, aka the greatest band name of all time.
Yeah, horrible band name, but Duff, I know, just came out with something. So
Duff is cool.
I think that because Duff and Slash do their solo stuff, I feel like they don't really care what Guns N' Roses puts out. They're like, sure, yeah, we'll overdub this part on a song you've been working on for 20 years. I would give this song a 3 out of 5, a low 3. I think it's interesting. That's why. I wouldn't give it like a 2.5, because to me that's bad. I don't think I think like this is a cool part. It's interesting. Do you have any closing thoughts on this?
I think
Out
it
of
is
5.
a cool song.
Out
Out
of
of 5. As a song by itself, here let's give her a listen.
It's a young man's game, and there's people who get away with doing it for a long time. Steven Tyler still sounds pretty good. People don't cut singers slack a lot of times, because you also gotta keep in mind these guys tour nonstop. That just destroys your voice. They're not. The most important thing for your voice is sleep. These guys aren't getting any sleep a lot of the time,
Alright, so out of 5 as a song, I probably put it like floating around a 3. Yeah, I think it does leave a little to be desired. It's 4 minutes long, but I kind of feel like it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, I do have one question before we close this out, and I'll start this by saying I don't care at all if they never release another album. I don't care. I don't really have a desire to hear one. How much would you want them to?
I'd like to hear it. I think it'd be cool. Is it gonna affect how I sleep at night? No.
No, it's not like.
But would I be curious to hear what they come up with their lineup right now? Yeah, I think that'd be kind of sick.
If they were gonna do a full studio project, I'd want them to stop picking stuff from the scrap pile and sit down and write as an ensemble.
Exactly. I don't know how the relationship is between every member of that band. I have no idea. But I think it would be cool to hear what they come up with in the studio.
Richard Fortus, pretty good songwriter.
He's insane, yeah.
Pretty good songwriter. If he had anything to do with those Dead Daisies albums he was on, or I guess he was just on the one. I'm not sure, but
that's
I
Revolution,
liked it.
right?
Yeah. That's a good album. I think
it's cool.
I think they do probably one of the better people who do that.
Alright, closing thoughts. The song itself, as a song, I think it's an alright song. I don't think it's going to be cracking the top 40 or top 200.
Hell no. I don't even think that'll be played on the radio at all.
Like, a couple local stations might play it a time or two and be like, oh yeah, Guns N' Roses released a new song, how do you think of this? And then everyone's going to hate it.
And they'll never play it.
Exactly. Because only the people listening to the stations that are going to play a new Guns N' Roses song aren't going to like it. But I think if someone kind of just stumbled upon it, I think there's a good chance they'd like it. There is definitely something there. But, they're kind of, it seems like they're kind of just trying new things.
Man, there's so many great bands from the 70s and 80s and 60s and 90s that play rock, like blues influenced rock that they're so great. You don't, a lot of the new people, Dirty Honey, Greta Van Fleet, no shade thrown towards those bands. Dirty Janes. I like them.
They're great.
I like them.
Could be like a force thing. Like some of these older bands are trying to like force what they were doing a long time ago because that's what was successful back then. Instead of, and again, this kind of is singing the praises of Guns N' Roses because they're not doing that.
Yeah, I still to this day respect Axl as an artist. I think he's an artist more than a lot of people
100%
give him credit for. If I can find it, I'll link it in the video, but there's a real good podcast of Mike Patton and Scott Ian because they were doing the Mr. Bungle thing, and him talking about being on tour with Guns N' Roses and taking a shit in a cake that Axl was gonna eat. So I don't want to give.
That's awesome.
I'm like, wow.
Wait, who did that, Mike or
Mike.
Scott? Okay.
No, I don't think Scott was because this was.
I like Mike.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Let's do another reaction to something else.
Hell yeah.